Chapter 10. Kunal. Kunal did not like Parijat. It was cold city, cold marble, cold people. Its flowers far too pale, too fragile, its food too sweet and milk-rich. So he was glad, as Varsha was, when the priest from Saketa guided them around the imperial mahal, and kindly asked after their father in Saketa, and the temples of the Faceless Mother on local estates, a source of shame they had both been told not to speak of in Parijat. I began my training in a temple of the Faceless Mother, the priest Kartik confided in them with a smile. I believe those who serve the Faceless Mother have a great deal to teach the priests of the mothers who reside in Parijat itself. But do not tell anyone I said so, he said in a confiding tone, eyes warm. It shall be our secret as fellow Saketans. Varsha giggled a little, covering her mouth with her hand. Even Kunal was comforted by the priest's consideration. Perhaps you will be able to guide me in the future, priest, his sister said timidly. I am inclined to worship. My apologies, princess, the priest said, slowing to allow her to match his pace. With a pang of embarrassment, Kunal did the same. The high priest summoned me to assist you and your brother in settling comfortably into the mahal. But my temple lies near the very river, and I must return to it. He was, he explained, the one who trained the priestly warriors who now served in the mahal and had always been sent trooping to Saketa with casks of mother's fire. Fire harvested from the depths that filled the mahal constantly with the ugliest perfume of smoke, charred flesh. Any priest you've met who can wield a weapon is under my purview, he added. You need only tell them you are a friend of Kartik, and they will treat you with respect. The priest even honored them with a meal from home, bursting with spice and flavor, pleasantly sour. That they devoured more swiftly than was probably sensible. The next day he departed, and Varsha prepared for her marriage. The wedding was inevitable. It had been inevitable for a long time, long before Kunal's father had called him into his chambers and served them both cold sherbet and said, The emperor seeks a closer alliance. You will accompany your sister to Parijat. Keep her safe, Kunal. A queen, but not Emperor Chandra's only queen. For all that his father and his father before him had only taken a single wife, it had been explained to Kunal by his father and by the priests that served in the high prince's private temple to the mothers, that the emperor needed a Parijati bride. But the emperor also needed an alliance, now that so many highborn had turned traitor and allied with his sister, and Saketa needed food. I never thought I would marry the emperor himself, Varsha said in a small voice. Gifts were arranged around her, gold-embroidered saris, jewels, vases of flowers, silk ribbons and parasols, and slippers bejeweled with diamonds. Will I be happy, do you think? Kunal thought of the day he had first met the emperor. The emperor had taken him to a private garden, a place so beautifully manicured it should be a haven, and at its heart the remains of a woman still burned. The way the emperor had smiled ever so casually and said, This is what will save our country, and my own. A sacrifice taken by true emperor. It's anything more righteous. He remembered his father's eyes, more tired by the day as his low princes defected to the service of the false empress. Our country is dying, his father had told him. We need Emperor Chandra's support if we wish to survive. I will pay any price, even her. Yes, Kunal said. He tried to smile at her. I think you will be. On the morning of the wedding, Kunal was summoned to the emperor's chambers. He bowed low as the emperor dressed, as the emperor told his servants what food would be arranged and how guests should be seated, and what traditional games would be allowed. In the same offhand manner, he told Kunal that no more men could be sent to Saketa and no more weapons. But Saketa would be required to stand against the false empress with its full force of power. Either my sister and the traitors who support her will be destroyed, or their forces will be depleted, Chandra said genially. She will not be able to turn to Parijat with your father burning her people alive. The tailor laid more cloth across the bed, a white jacket embroidered with seed pearls, so closely sewn together that they resembled armor, a large red akchan for luck. And my father, Kunal managed, and his men, the people in the fort. Your father has my assurance that I will support your rise to High Prince, said the Emperor. Your sister will be the mother of my children. Not, a voice of cold reason whispered to Kunal's mind, the mother of his heir. Note what he does not say. Your people, the Emperor went on, holding out his wrist so that his servant could adjust the heavy torques of gold adorning them, will not starve. The rot will be handled. Your food supplies will be secure. He gave Kunal an indifferent smile. Remember that, and be glad of my benevolence. Kunal bowed his head and proclaimed he was glad indeed. He watched his sister walk around the ceremonial wedding fire, garbed in resplendent red, and thought, my country is dying. He watched her bow for the garland and thought, our father is dying. He watched her as she lowered her head for the wedding garland and thought, my sister will die, and there is nothing I can do.